So hello everyone, once again we're very sorry about the delay. We realise it's not ideal, particularly during the Olympics, but welcome to this press conference called by the International Boxing Association. Last minute conference, so thank you all for coming. A reminder that it will be conducted in English, but that there is live interpretation available in French on channel 1, English on channel 2, and Russian on channel 3 via the headsets that have been provided. To select a channel, just use the channel arrows and then press OK to select that channel. So the IBA have called this press conference to shed light on their version of the facts concerning the highly mediatized state of affairs surrounding boxers Iman Khalif and Lin Yu Ting, particularly in light of what has happened at the Olympic Games, with their wish to outline their official position on what has transpired. This includes giving details about why both athletes were disqualified from the Women's World Boxing Championships in 2023. So to discuss this here today, we're joined by IBA President Umar Kremlev, who will be online with us, IBA Secretary General and CEO Chris Roberts, OBE, the former chair of the IBA Medical Committee and EUBC President Dr. Ioannis Philippatos, and IBA Coaches Committee Chairman Gabriele Martinelli. Each IBA member is invited to start with an opening statement before we then open the floor to questions. And we will be starting with a statement from IBA President Umar Kremlev, who joins via video link. Just waiting for the sound to come through. So we're going to come back to President Umar Kremlev. Sorry for those technical difficulties. We'll go first to Mr. Chris Roberts.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the IBA conference. Thanks, Mr. Speaker, and good to be joined by two colleagues on either side who will be able to answer questions further down the line as required. So we appreciate your patience today. It's a hot room, so apologise again for the delay, but thanks very much for joining. I think we can quite rightly say that it's been a real storm over the last week, certainly, with this particular bout, and I think to shed light on the situation for us in particular and medical and confidence, we're not able to give you the actual blood test itself, but what we can show you is the front cover copy with the annex, which we'll put up on show shortly to indicate what that was, and a signature on the bottom of both documents by both boxers who received those blood tests accordingly. Both boxers had the possibility to appeal to CAS within a 21-day period. Further to which, the Chinese Taipei boxer Ting Lin, she did not appeal, and that was a legally binding result. And on the back of that, we then had the discussions with, and indeed further discussions with Iman Khalif about the results on the boxer's behalf. Now, she did challenge that on the 14th of April 2023, and challenged the CAS appeal. IBA paid for the costs on this, or the majority of the costs. The boxer was expected to pay part of those costs, and preceding that, it didn't happen. So on the 27th of July, the Court of Arbitration of Sport issued the termination order, and the proceedings against the appellant did not. She didn't pay. We paid the cost, but on the back end of that, the results came out that no further action to be taken. The conclusions to which are extremely challenging, because for this boxer and for Lynn, clearly the technical and competition rules that apply to IBA, and as we've seen in this instance, are indifferent to that of the IOC. We've had a letter that was sent to the IOC by Mr. Yarolimpos informing them of this decision by IBA and the criteria within that and where they fall within that eligibility. Sent to Mr. Kit McConnell, and we've got a response back, so we'll be able to show you those letters accordingly. Previous to that, after the situation in 2022, the results of that again were communicated to the IOC verbally. The meeting with the sports director of IBA, the previous two outgoing, Mr. Kovacs, and one of the lead Paris boxing unit, who's actually here now, was also on that call. So that information was relayed. So contrary to what was discussed in the conference at the weekend, the IOC have received this information. And clearly for us, the interesting situation here is that whilst the IOC have had that information previously, they haven't done anything with it. We had the response and they haven't taken that forward because they rely on their own criteria, which is based against, I believe, and what I'm hearing is the passport to enter the competition. Okay, so with that, what I will say is this: we never intended to raise any of these issues at this event, because this is not our event. This event belongs to the IOC. The whereabouts of this has come out based on the result of the bout between the Italian Angela Carini and Iman Khalif. I will point out that the president of the Italian Boxing Federation indeed hasn't been happy with previous results, and I would like to say that in this instance there was questions raised by the Italian Federation prior to her bout that took place. So in this instance the situation from my perspective has been raised and has been brought forward, but with the actions of the Italian boxer in the ring. Difficult because both boxers have worked extremely hard towards their own goals, and of course we find ourselves in this difficult situation now, particularly Iman Khalif, who steps through to the next stages and is hoping to win Olympic gold. We in IBA understand the difficulties that this has brought about for the whole tournament, and it's never been our intention to bring any of this about. Of course, what you see is the actions of the boxer in the Italian bout with Iman Khalif, and then further to that, the reason why we're sat here. So there's some brief facts, a brief going over as to where we are in that current situation. We've got the administration to support that. What I will say is that we're not able to disclose the results of any tests, but you can read between the lines where that sits. And of course, what I'd also like to mention here is that yesterday evening and this morning we've received letters from the NOCs in Chinese Taipei and Algeria respectively, informing us that we can't disclose any information pertinent to either boxer. So we've had that information through early hours this morning and this morning. So you can see what that means. So again, read between the lines. I'm not in a position to show any results, but from our perspective, IBA's eligibility criteria that sits within the technical and competition rules has been pushed across the IOC, and they have that information already. So that's currently where we are. I think just as an opening gambit, I hope that's kind of set the scene for you. We can produce something that will give you those dates, just so you're, there's no confusion there. But I hope that's given you a bit of an overview of where we've come to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roberts. We are going to be ready now for IBA President Umar Kremlev, who joins us online. If that doesn't work, we will be moving on to Dr. Filipatos in just a moment. But Umar Kremlev now, the President of IBA.
Событиями большое значимое спортивное событие мировое, Олимпиада. Начиная с открытия, как христианин, как верующий человек, открытие Олимпиады — это было оскорбление каждого христианина и каждого мусульманина. Вообще духовность человека была задета. И причем это было сделано нынешним руководством МОК, потому что они согласовывают программу. Но это событие печально продолжилось участием в боксерским турниром. Это очень печально, что мы сегодня, 21 век, мы защищаем спортсменов, когда спортсмены должны ходить уже свободно, выступать свободно. Международные ассоциации должны для них создавать мероприятия, а не ограничивать спортсменов и унижать спортсменов. Сегодня Международный олимпийский комитет и его руководство, Томас Бах, которые не соответствуют своим должностям, сегодня они просто уничтожают спорт, особенно женский спорт. Я как президент Международной ассоциации бокса IBA, также мне доверили страны управления. Я здесь нахожусь по зову сердца, а не для того, чтобы управлять или командовать, как это представляет себе Томас Бах. Я не хозяин боксеров, я тот человек, который должен создать условия для боксеров и защищать каждого спортсмена, каждого тренера и каждую национальную федерацию, потому что благодаря спортсменам, тренерам и национальной федерации существует мировой спорт. И это IBA сделала. С того момента, когда мне доверили Международную ассоциацию бокса, в боксе мы убрали коррупцию в судействе, мы бокс вытащили из банкротства. Я хочу напомнить, чтобы никто не забывал про это. Непосредственно виной коррупции в IBA 12-й год Олимпиада, 16-й год Олимпиада является Томас Бах, Сики Ву, потому что Сики Ву был член МОК. Про это молчат, просто боятся говорить. Независимое расследование профессора Макларена, оно опубликовало о том, что Международный олимпийский комитет и его член МОК, именно Сики Ву, является замешан в этом управлении. Он привел АИБу, прошлую АИБу, в такое состояние, в коррупцию и в стадии банкротства. И я пошел для того, чтобы в боксе был порядок. С этого и началось все. Я пришел, с моим приходом IBA ушло с банкротства, с моим приходом остановилась коррупция в судействе. Мы дальше продолжаем. С моим приходом стало все прозрачно, демократично выбираются члены IBA, члены совета директоров были переизбраны все. И реформирован устав и управление. Сегодня мы сталкиваемся с тем, что нам надо защищать спортсменов. И эта ситуация, когда мы взяли у спортсменов анализы, оно не по нашему желанию было. Это по просьбе многочисленных спортсменок, девушек, которым было больно выступать с ними, спортсменами, и которые жаловались, и тренеры жаловались. Говорят, мы чувствуем, что они генетически сильнее, чем мы. У нас головные боли. Лично ко мне обращались спортсменки. И, конечно, мы направили доктору Филиппатсу, который должен был провести эти анализы, и генеральный секретарь офиса IBA было поручено подать, чтобы взяли анализы и подали, чтобы проверили этот факт. Этот факт был, так и как и в IBA надо было порядок наводить, и также и среди спортсменов, и судейства, везде мы навели порядок. Сегодня IBA независимая международная ассоциация, которая защищает спортсменов. И когда первый анализ пришел о том, что генетический тест намного различается от женского генетического теста, и второй анализ это подтвердил. Конечно, как президент мы должны защищать женский спорт. Мы говорим о гендерном равенстве, мы говорим о том, что мы должны защищать права женщин, потому что женщины в 19 веке только освободились, получили право голосовать и получили право, чтобы могли и возглавлять, и выступать как спортсменки. Мы должны это защищать и ни в коем случае никому не дать, чтобы уничтожили женский бокс. А сегодня, конечно, уничтожается не только женский бокс, а я думаю, что же и в будущем они будут стараться уничтожать женский спорт. Таким образом, как сегодня это происходит на Олимпиаде. Потому что не IBA проводит на Олимпиаде бокс. Если это было бы IBA, то этого бы не было сегодня. И учитывая то, что происходит в Международном Олимпийском комитете, то, что они остановили признание IBA, ни разу не встретившись с IBA. Это о чем говорит? О личном вмешательстве Томаса Баха, личные амбиции, месть IBA за Сикиву, за главного коррупционера, про которого они молчат. Вы можете посмотреть расследование профессора Махларна, там все это есть. И это продолжение идет. Сегодня они уничтожают женский бокс. Мы этого не позволим. Я как президент буду защищать всех боксеров мира. И мужчин, и женщин, потому что IBA это боксерский дом. И где бы они ни выступали, сегодня это происходит на Олимпиаде. Что начиная открытие Олимпиады было, тайные вечери, оскорбили всех верующих людей, миллиарды людей. Особенно, и также и меня это они оскорбили. Это я не знаю, это уже сверх такое значимое, которое нельзя позволять. Нам, людям, надо остановить это. Международная ассоциация спортивная, это для того, чтобы призывать все к миру, для того, чтобы гарантия была защита спортсменов. Вот для чего мы существуем, вот для чего люди становятся президентами. Для того, чтобы все деньги, которые зарабатываются в Международной ассоциации, эти деньги должны принадлежать спортсменам. Сегодня на Олимпиаде нет ни призовых, медалей, ни золотые. Почему меня не любят, почему меня боятся команда Томаса Баха и сам Томас Бах? Потому что я за независимость, я за демократию, за честность, за прозрачность, за защиту спортсменов, против коррупции в судействе. За это они боятся. Я не боюсь говорить правду. И здесь я нахожусь не для того, чтобы пиар, либо еще что-то. Здесь я нахожусь для того, чтобы защитить наших любимых женщин. Защитить то право, когда еще мы приняли в 19 веке, до нас еще приняли, что женщины имеют право везде, и мы должны защищать их права. А сегодня пытаются таким образом уничтожить женский спорт. Но мы не дадим. В боксе этого не будет. Бокс это IBA, это боксерская семья. И я хочу, уважаемые коллеги, к вам обращаясь, ко всем СМИ, кто поддерживает женщин и кто за женские права, и чтобы женский спорт завтра не уничтожили, не бойтесь, говорите правду. И также есть сегодня большая проблема. Чтобы это все остановить, как это мы сделали в IBA. В IBA настоящая демократия. IBA прозрачная международная ассоциация, IBA независимая международная ассоциация. И защищает спортсменов. У нас есть главные люди. Это сердце IBA, это спортсмен и тренер. И национальные федерации. Ради чего IBA работает. И посмотрите, какие сегодня призовые платятся на чемпионатах мира, и женский, и мужской. Мы уже довели до 10 миллионов долларов. У нас медали из чистого золота. У нас большое уважение к спортсменам. И все, что зарабатывает IBA, это деньги спортсменам. Чего нету на Олимпиаде. И почему я сказал про призовые тем девочкам, которые пострадали. Я слышал, что МОК сказал, что не верьте. Это им можно не верить, потому что они вводят в заблуждение. Мы-то показываем действиями, мы выплачиваем призовые. И на Олимпиаде те девушки, которые пострадали, мы выплатим призовые им. Мы не боремся за какие-то, чтобы нам привилегии были. Мы боремся за то, чтобы была справедливость. Справедливость в женском спорте и в мужском. Я, как президент Международной ассоциации бокса, которым доверила боксерская семья управлять боксом, буду отстаивать, не буду молчать, я не буду играть в политику. Мне в спорте не должно быть политика. Спорт выше, чем политика. И Международная ассоциация бокса, это принадлежит странам. И все решения принимаются Конгрессом. И также я призываю сегодня все спортивное сообщество. И призываю всех тех, кто любит спорт. Давайте мы объединимся. Призываю все страны. Вот чтобы такой ситуации не было, чтобы наших спортсменов не унижали, чтобы не было исключения личной амбиции Томаса Баха и его команде, где он пытается личными амбициями убивать спорт, особенно бокс. На Олимпиаде были 10 медалей, сегодня уже 7 медалей стало. Вместо того, чтобы увеличить, чтобы больше у стран было возможностей участвовать на Олимпиаде. И женщинам также довести до 10, и мужчинам также. Также мы требуем сегодня реформировать, я требую, и многие боксеры требуют, и спортсмены требуют. К сожалению, мои коллеги Международной федерации, некоторые боятся про это говорить, потому что сегодня у Международного олимпийского комитета такое управление, что если кто их не послушал, они их уничтожают, либо исключают. Но с боксом это не пройдет. Бокс вам не шутки. Боксеры плясать не собираются под дудочку. Боксеры за прозрачность, честность и открытость. И сегодня я хочу призвать весь мир, чтобы президента Международного олимпийского комитета и совета директоров, и бюро исполком, и членов МОК должны выбирать страны. Страны должны голосовать. И все такие решения глобальные должны приниматься странами. Всего лишь самый глобальный надо поменять 3 пункта. Это поменять для того, чтобы, не для того, чтобы, как сейчас хочет Томас Бах, продлить себе, чтобы он мог еще остаться президентом. А устав надо поменять для того, чтобы президента мог, выбирали страны, голосовали, а не члены. И совет директоров, и бюро исполкома, и также Международный спортивный суд КАС должен быть независимой организацией от Международного олимпийского комитета. Он не должен быть считаться как подразделением. Они не должны назначать судей. Этого не должно быть. Должно быть независимый суд спортивный, отдельно. Отдельно должен быть Международный олимпийский комитет. И выборы должны быть странами. Благодаря странам существует Международная ассоциация. И также надо ввести все, что зарабатывает Международный олимпийский комитет. Эти деньги должны принадлежать спортсменам, тренерам и национальным комитетам, странам. Вот мои требования. Я у себя на сайте. Если кто боится этого, я-то не боюсь. Я готов бороться за это и буду бороться. Я добьюсь той прозрачности. Мы объявляем о расследовании в отношении Томаса Баха и его команде. Я призываю лучших следователей со всего мира присоединиться и сделать общественное расследование в отношении их, насколько они коррумпировали Международный олимпийский комитет. Они не должны принимать решения сами. Должно принимать решения общество. Мы должны признавать и признавать и слушать, что говорит общество, что говорят страны. Сегодня Международный Олимпийский комитет превратился в политическую организацию. Но они забыли, что это не политическая организация, а общественная организация. Это общественность должна принимать там решения. А сегодня, к сожалению, начиная от женского спорта убивается, заканчивая до судейства, это происходит все на Олимпиаде. Возьмите 12-й год Олимпиаду, 16-й год коррупция в судействе. В этом всем виноват, и это причем на боксе, когда было нарушение судейства, Томас Бах сам присутствовал. Мы за это не должны молчать. Многие мне скажут, что я об этом очень много говорю. У меня нет абсолютно ни агрессии, ничего. Я просто говорю о том, чтобы все знали правду и не боялись. И IBA будет защищать спортсменов. И я ко всем обращаюсь, всему миру сегодня. Лучшие исследователи со всех стран, присоединяйтесь. Давайте проведем общественное расследование в отношении спортсменов. Защитим наших женщин, защитим спортсменов, защитим прозрачность, открытость спорта. И спорт для того, чтобы был мир во всем мире, как это делает IBA. Посмотрите в IBA, президент из России, первый вице-президент из Украины, генеральный секретарь из Англии. И у нас многонациональная ассоциация. И взять с Греции у нас главный врач. С Италии у нас со всех стран, вся страна охвачена, то есть все национальности, можно перечислять и перечислять. Так и должен быть Международный Олимпийский комитет. Вот как должны работать международные ассоциации. Я сегодня перед вами, вы можете мне задавать любой вопрос, я не стесняюсь, удобный, неудобный, я ничего не боюсь, в отличие от Томаса Баха и его команды. Они-то боятся, они боятся меня, они боятся правды, а я за правду, и я буду до конца до этой правды. Спасибо большое, уважаемые коллеги. И сегодня я хочу сказать, что мы защитим наших женщин, и мы, еще раз говорю, кто пострадал, девушки, мы им выплатим призовые, и также мы выплатим всем спортсменам, кто займет первые места, призовые места от IBA, так как Международный Олимпийский комитет все деньги, наверное, тратят на проживание Томаса Баха в 5-звездочных отелях и на его перелеты, его частную жизнь, видимо. Вот. Но мы добьемся, чтобы эти деньги уходили, все-таки вернулись спортсменам. Мы этого добьемся. Мы не позволим, потому что благодаря зрителям, благодаря спортсменам есть зрители на Олимпиаде. Благодаря спортсменам есть спонсоры. Они не ради чиновников идут туда, они ради спортсменов. Из-за этого мы отстаиваем, чтобы все деньги принадлежали спортсменам и странам. Другого варианта не должно быть. Я, еще раз говорю, буду отстаивать и призываю всех присоединяться к нам. Лучших исследователей со всего мира, лучших общественных деятелей. И также призываю наших любимых женщин не бояться говорить правду и отстаивать женский спорт. И мы вместе отстоим. Учитывая те анализы, которые пришли, и наш врач, и сегодня доктор Филиппатес больше расскажет вам более подробнее, и мы будем отстаивать наших женщин. Так что, дорогие друзья, спасибо вам, задавайте любой вопрос, я могу на любой ваш вопрос ответить. Я открыт для вас.
Thank you to IBA President Umar Kremlev for those details. I'd like to invite Dr. Yannis Philippatos to make his statement next. And just before we proceed with that, the IBA have asked me to clarify the credentials of Dr. Philippatos. He is an MD, PhD, obstetric gynecologist specialist with experience also in genetic department, IVF, in vitro fertilization expertise, with 30 years of practice behind him. Dr. Philippatos, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. My brothers, my friends, welcome to press conference. I am doctor about 30 years. I don't like press conference. I like to work. I practice medicine. This is my job. Until now. It's happened before 2 years because the countries from Europe asked me to be president in EUBC, European Boxing Confederation. I accept. Now I help as president. I help Europe, and we try to upgrade boxing in Europe. So, EUBC president, finish, is something else. Here, I am as doctor. I want to represent myself a little bit, and sorry to bother you, but you must know the truth, and you must know who I am. Because, I don't know, perhaps after this interview, you will hear other things. So, I am about 59 years old, 30 years doctor practice. I am obstetric gynecologist, general surgeon, and specialist in IVF, in vitro fertilization. And of course, in my genetic department. So that means many things. I don't want to speak too much medicine to you. I don't want to bother you, but many times, for many couples, I prepare babies. Men, woman. I know that the President Bach, I respect him. He is the president from International Olympic Committee. I understand everything. I know that he say the science is poor. For me, science is not poor. Perhaps the doctors no speak. Perhaps the doctors no speak. Medicine is knowledge. It's not opinion. It's knowledge. I know that who is woman and man, one passport can give to us the opportunity to be men. And tomorrow, when I go back to Athens, it's possible to go to my government to say, please, I am free man, I want to change my name. And from Ioannis Philippatos to be Ioanna Philippatou. Will be happened. That means I am woman tomorrow. Please. The nature and the biological watch no change. We change everything in our life. Career, technical, natural, we cannot change nothing. So women, they have biologic watch. This watch not change to the women. If they make career, if they are poor, if they are rich, nothing change. The same to the men. So now I work in boxing about 15 years without to receive money, just to help. Our office, the second office is in Monaco, Monte Carlo, and thanks for that. Now my first press conference, because I told you I don't like the press conference, I like to work. You must know the truth now. I am very open and happy if you ask me many questions. I don't need papers. I don't care about papers. Ask me what you want. My computer is here. So, everybody knows the problem. We know that problem. We know some years before. But how start that problem? How? All the boxes, before the exam, before the fight, first day. Yes. Sorry. So, all the boxers, first day, before the draw, before the weigh-in, sorry, after the draw, they pass the medical exams. The ringside doctors from IBA, they are very good. I know because I was instructor about 11 years. So, what's happened with each boxer, like Mrs. Khalif, what's happened? Many countries, many doctors from the countries call us and say, what's happened with them? We don't understand. It is woman or men. Looks like men. But this is nothing. So start the countries start to say to us, please, perhaps it's man, perhaps it's woman, how we know what is every boxer. And in Turkey, how Secretary General say, we start in the morning in the medical examination to check some boxers. Not only these two boxers, no. And of course, in Turkey, after the episcopic medical examination from the ringside doctors, I was informed for something. And the second pass was to send blood exams to have official answer about the karyotype. That means we want to know the karyotype, this is the biological watch. We want to know if it's man or woman. This is the first step. So happened that. And together with the lawyers, we was very attentive not to make mistake, not to bother the boxers, not to create problems. We don't want to create problems to boxers, but we must be correct, you know. We have two guidelines, two categories, men and women. So let's start, because we talk about women. Let's protect women. That means women's category must be only woman. Only. I think you agree. If you not agree, let's change the category. And we give another name, mixed category. Everybody in his life, he can do what he wants in his bed, in his home. But here we talk about sport. Yes, everybody is free to make sport. But in one competition means two categories, women's sport and men's sport. Now, before some days, I listened that we don't know exactly what means woman. Please, no possible that. No possible that. I have in my life until now 5,000 operations. I don't know how many babies. I know what they have, the babies. Not possible somebody, no doctor, to say, we don't know what is woman. Okay, if you don't know, ask one doctor. But let the doctor speak. The doctors no speak. No one give to you this information. Yes, of course, I come to you immediately. No one. They don't have the courage. Because they need the money, they need the good position, they don't want problems, they don't want bullying. So you are here today just to cover the press conference, or you want the truth? Please tell me, I need answer. If you don't want the truth, I stop now. Yes, please.
We're just going to be passing some microphones in just a second. Can we just finish with the statements and then we'll come back to all the questions?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Mr. Martelli wanted to just...
Nicole, είσαι έτοιμη? Έλενα.
Can we have a microphone then, please?
Έλενα. Ellen.
Hi. First of all, question to...
Let's finish better. Έλενα. Ellen Sobol.
So, thank you.
Ellen.
One question for German TV. First, Mr.
Ellen.
Sorry.
Nicole is ready? No.
So, thank you. So, first question, will you present something new or would it time for us to leave the room now? Second question is, how much is Gazprom paying your organization every year? Third question to you, Mr. Filipatos, how much is the salary you're getting just for sitting on the podium here? And to Mr. Roberts, how much money you're getting every year salary from IBA?
For me, my
Thank
salary?
you.
My salary, you mean? Please, please. My salary? You mean my salary?
Like
Yeah.
I ask you.
No. Keep your microphone, please. Keep. I ask you, my salary you want to know?
Like I said 3, 4 questions. I could repeat it again.
You want my, if I receive salary from IBA?
Yes.
No, zero.
Still good. You, Mr. Roberts?
It's got nothing to do with you, what my salary is, so no comment. Thank you.
Okay. We can ask questions. So how much money is Gazprom paying your organization every year? Was my third question.
I don't understand. How much money, please?
You're getting from Gazprom.
From
Your
Gazprom?
sponsors? Yeah, your sponsor or partner, as mentioned on the website.
Personal me, zero. If I want to take money from Gazprom...
No, your organization. Okay, come on. Could we shorten this
okay,
up?
moment.
It was also a question to the CEO.
Okay, this is the
Thank
something...
you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we are just coming to the end of our financial audit, so there will be results will be produced shortly. So you'll get to see those in their entirety. Be presented to the board in Cuba. Thank you very much.
We had a question here at the front. Please, yep. And get a microphone.
Just a little question to the doctor about your standing as a doctor. Now, it sounds like you are completely against the right of any woman to... It sounds like you're against the right of any person to change their gender. But as a doctor, don't you have to make the care of patients your first concern? So what would you tell a patient who did, say, seek a gender reassignment? Because obviously your status as a doctor would be called into question.
Yes, thank you for the question. Medical, we need to protect the woman. So woman category in sport, in athlete, we need to protect them. And we know how to protect them. Now I need 5 minutes from you just to explain a little bit medical. What means clear woman, what means transgender, what means intersex. Because I am 100% sure that you don't know exact what is each one. In sport, I mean in sport. In the personal life, I don't care, but in sport. Can you wait, please, a little bit to explain to you, yes?
It was about your standing as a doctor, but I'll just move on. A question to all of you. Given the fact the first tests on these two boxers were conducted in 2022, why did you wait until 2023 for the next test, and the results only announced when the boxers were on for medals?
Yeah, good question. Clearly this is something new, and it was something new for us in the sport. So one result coming from one laboratory, the results coming out, and moving on to the next competition. We were waiting for the next tournament to then do the necessary testing, blood testing, with the doctors at ringside. So we had a lapse of just under a year with this information, of course, and the next time we tested to have a secondary test in a different lab was conclusive. So, sorry? Well, as I'm saying, this wasn't something that we were familiar with. Yeah, because we needed them to enter the tournament. They needed to be officially in the tournament, and at that point then we could blood test them.
Excusez-moi, qu'est-ce qui explique... Voilà, je suis là. Qu'est-ce qui explique, quand il y a eu le match entre l'Italienne et l'Algérienne, toute l'extrême droite toute l'extrême droite, je dis bien, en Italie, en France, et aux États-Unis et d'autres pays, même Trump, même le président candidat Trump, il dit il dit que c'est un homme. Qu'est-ce qui explique cet alignement de l'extrême droite sur la position de votre association? Et puis, qu'est-ce qui explique toute cette somme d'argent que vous donnez à l'italienne? Est-ce que, je ne remets pas en cause, mais les Italiens, il faut savoir, moi je fais part des choses. L'extrême droite, une italienne ou les sportifs italiens, ça c'est autre chose. Mais la première ministre italienne, elle a soutenu la boxeuse. Donc ça pose un problème. Et puis, elle dit qu'elle a reçu des frappes. Qu'est-ce qu'elle a reçu?
Monsieur,
Elle s'est
excusez-moi,
retirée.
c'est quoi la question, s'il vous plaît? Parce qu'il y a du monde qui
Ma
attend.
question, je pense qu'il y a un scénario où l'italienne, elle est dans votre scénario. C'est pourquoi vous lui donnez de l'argent. Merci.
So the question was, how do you explain the fact that the right wing has aligned themselves behind your organization to support the Italian boxer, and why is it that you are giving a payout to the Italian boxer as a result of what's happened here at the Olympics?
So, on the back of my initial point I made regarding the Italian boxer, okay. So, there was a question raised by the Italian president prior to the bout, okay, on the 31st, sent an email to IBA asking particularly about this boxer. So, the Italian president received the same information as everybody else, and in accordance to what you saw in the bout, my opinion, in fact, Gabriele, you can answer this one, yeah? About how the boxer performed in the ring, your thoughts on that, and end state of that.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you all for having all the, let's say, courage to stay after this late start. I'm very sorry about that, but we are all in the same to clear something very important. Yes, besides the fact that now the CEO passed me the microphone for the Italian fight itself, but we had a plan today to give 3 statements and then give you the possibility to ask us questions related to all the statements that given. So that makes sense. I would like also to start then from what I wanted to tell you before, because I see that the discussion, even now, is moving on another side. This is why I'm here today. I'm not here about talking about budget. I'm not here talking about politics. I'm here talking about boxing, which is the main reason I'm here. Coaches Committee Chair, I lead all the coaches, which are the most important, is the most important role in the whole sport. Now, what we teach to all the coaches is the safety of the boxer comes as the first and most important rule. I'm also the leader instructor. I teach to all the coaches together with our team of instructors all over the world. Last year we had over 1,300 students in the 5 continents. And what are we always point is 3 major points: behavior, procedures, and rules. This is a sport. We have procedures, we have rules. Now, boxing is different from any kind of sport that we have here, because if we lose in an Olympic Games or in World Championships because of an unfair advantage, we might be hurt emotionally, psychologically, because an unfair advantage was used to take the medal from us. But in our sport, it's different. Our sport is dangerous. When there is an unfair advantage, people can die. We teach in our courses the biomechanics of the knockouts. We teach about concussion. We teach about second syndrome impact. Why? Because we want that all the coaches understand the responsibility that they have in their own hands when they lead a boxer in the ring. So now, I will tell you something. If for any reason there is an announcement of the performance which could benefit in an extra power, then we can understand how dangerous this can be. It's already dangerous when there is no enhancement of the performance. It's very important for every coach that understanding the safety of the boxer, it goes out of the ring too, because taking this boxer who was already disqualified by IBA, which is the home of boxing since forever. Now, as we know that we're talking about a sport, so 2 boxers were disqualified by the IBA during a world championship. Now, what would have been correct to do is these boxers are not being cleared. If anybody else was just banned for doping and was now participating, everyone now was arguing about it. It's not clear. So what is the difference? We just switched the conversation on discrimination, which is not at all. The conversation is how to keep the sport safe. Finish. Because we don't need, why? Why should we discriminate anybody? No one here woke up in the morning and said, today I will discriminate. I think we have many things to do. So think about this. So we had 2 cases of disqualification for this kind of reason. I won't even tell the reason, okay? It's not my area. We have Dr. Philippatos here. But they are not clear. I think they should have been clear first, publicly, because they were publicly banned because of the rules. Now, this is a sport. We have rules. You need to comply the rules to participate. And if you cannot comply, I am sorry. It's not discrimination. It's just the rules. So, this is my point from the coaches. And I hope that you will think about it instead of discriminating on other fields and just focusing on the only conversation that matters, how to keep the boxers safe. Thank you very much.
I think there's 2 questions there. Yep.
I will ask. Okay.
Я здесь хотел, уважаемые коллеги, я здесь хотел добавить. Слышно меня, нет? Уважаемые коллеги, я вот хотел добавить, я смотрю специальные журналисты, которые задают за деньги вопрос. А почему вы считаете, что спортсмены не должны получать призовые? Почему, если эти соревнования благодаря им, почему вы считаете, что спортсмены должны сидеть, быть нищими, а спортивные чиновники должны жить в 5-звездочных отелях, летать первыми классами и частными бортами? Почему это вы? Это я, как президент, и который занимался спортом, когда одни перчатки были на 10 человек, когда одни шорты были на 10 человек. И за этого, когда не было финансирования, не смог состояться как боксер.
Je veux répondre. Bonjour.
Я здесь хочу сказать о том, что призовые на Олимпиаде, это IBA до Олимпиады объявила до Олимпиады, что призовые каждому спортсмену, кто выиграет Олимпийские игры и займет призовое место, они получат отбор на чемпионат мира IBA. Олимпиада сегодняшняя это для боксеров отборочный турнир на чемпионат IBA. Вот. И мы хотим сказать о том, что финансирование у нас прозрачное, и у нас нету никаких проблем с этим. Давайте вопрос сейчас. Сегодня мы говорим о том, чтобы защищать наших спортсменок, девушек, и которые не в равных правах сегодня находятся. Сегодня опять МОК не учел свои старые ошибки на Олимпиаде 12-16 года о коррупции, которую они создали. Не учли свои ошибки, опять начали пытаться на Олимпиаде управлять боксом. И вот вам сегодня, в 2024 году, они делают грубейшее нарушение. То у них судейское было, а теперь нарушение. Они пускают не в равных правах, чтобы спортсменки соревновались. И наше личное решение, это боксерской семьи решение о том, что те спортсмены, которые пострадали, все, кто пострадают, мы их будем награждать как за первое место. Как до Олимпиады мы обещали всех спортсменов наградить и дать отбор на чемпионат мира IBA. И давайте, коллеги, перейдем конкретно к этому случаю, где есть большая проблема сегодня. Мы должны это остановить. Мы должны спасти женский бокс, женский спорт. Мы должны говорить об этом сегодня. Давайте не забывать, не уходить влево или вправо. У нас есть четкий сегодня. Мы должны все спортивное сообщество, любители спорта сегодня остановить. Есть анализы. Проверьте, пожалуйста, посмотрите, и давайте мы остановим. И никто не будет вмешиваться, и у женщин будут равные права. Мы говорим про это. Я ко всем обращаюсь, задавайте конкретно вопросы касаемо этой проблемы. Не уходите в сторону. И не надо ссылаться. Призовой спортсмен без материальной, он не может жить. Почему чиновники должны жить, а спортсмены нет? Я еще раз повторю, все, что зарабатывает Международный Олимпийский комитет, эти деньги должны быть спортсменов. И другого варианта никакого не должно быть. Давайте мы вот именно сегодня спасаем женский спорт. Задавайте вопрос, пожалуйста, касаемо женского спорта.
Can I ask you? Okay, so I'm
Je peux
understanding.
répondre?
Can I have a question?
Est-ce que je peux répondre?
Yes.
Okay, so
Just where?
I'm understanding that you're trying to mean that both two athletes, they're Jelen and the Taiwan, they are not women. So you told that you have no scare to say and to say what's necessary to say. So what you're trying to mean? Could you be really clear and say in all words what you're trying to mean? They have born as a woman, they have born as a man, they have changed their gender. What you're trying to mean? Could you be really clear and really specific about what you're trying to say?
Thank you for the questions. You think I don't speak clear? I speak, no? No, not clear, no? Because perhaps no good English. I don't speak clear. You know, sometimes we have the...
The comment is that you're talking about change, but there was no change. She was born as a woman. That's the comment.
Yes, I was not... No? Okay, she's born woman.
The other question is, what information do you have to say that she is not a woman?
The answer. Yes. Look, sometimes, I understand you, but sometimes we cannot say everything. Why? But it's universal, the medical secret, you know? So, I cannot say to you if she was born woman. Why you attack me? Why you attack me? Why you attack me? Okay, I speak. You want to speak? I try to say that the medical result, blood result, looks and say the laboratories that this boxer is male. Okay? And this is the problem now. We try now to help. I see these results. So we try now to see why it's happened like that. You understand me? We are not against Khalif. She's a very good boxer. She is talent. Moment. Why you attack me? Moment, please. I respect you. Respect me. Let me speak. I was not in the hospital when she born. If I was in hospital, I will tell you. I was many times in Algeria. Many times. I like Algeria. But our problem is not that. Our problem is that we have 2 blood exams with karyotype of male. This is the answer from laboratory. It's not my answer. It's the answer from laboratory. And this answer is not equivalent with the criteria, our criteria in the technical rules in IBA. Now, I am here to explain to you what's happened sometimes, and we have these abnormalities, we say that in medicine. You understand me? That is that we try to find. In this case, what you ask me, we need the boxer to collaborate with doctor to find exact what you ask me. I cannot answer this question, because I was not in hospital when she birthed. But I can explain some things. The problem is not about Khalif. Khalif is one very good boxer, very talented boxer. She is very good. I respect her. But as doctor, I need to protect the woman's category. Please, it's the woman category in sport. This woman category in sport, they have woman karyotype. This is the big difference.
Can we have a question there in the second row, please? In the second row with a microphone.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I've got this on. Chris here. So, BBC News. You'll have seen, Chris, there's been speculation about whether this is some kind of partially motivated by some kind of Russian disinformation plot. As an organisation, you'll know the past of the IBA. You've been suspended over ethical integrity, governance issues. Given these theories, what assurances can you give? And can you really be trusted as an organisation, given that trust is at the heart of this?
Everything that we've done since we've come in, end of 2021, is about the boxing, is about the boxers. We've salvaged IBA to IBA. We are financially sound. We have produced high-level events. We produce professional opportunities for boxers across the globe. You've heard the President talk about prize money. You've heard him talk about the standard that we want to achieve. This situation here would never have come about had it not been raised by the Italian team and what happened in the ring. We are here now, as Yanis has said, just to provide you with the information. I'm not a scientist, but what I will tell you is, in accordance with both boxers with female passports, have boxed in the past, have come into competition, have been looked at by other boxers and coaches and have had a concern. 2 tests have been produced, one in Istanbul by one lab, another in India with another lab, okay? And our governance procedures and, of course, technical and competition rules, which are global, go right the way across every single national federation, have to be followed and adhered to. So we can only follow those rules, to Gabriele's point. This would never have been brought about had the results of the Italian team not been a disaster coming in, because we were asked questions, and you saw what happened in the ring. When the boxer goes into the ring, they sign a contract, whether it's unwritten or unwritten rule to go into the ring and to perform. The Italian boxer didn't perform. It wasn't good. It was disappointing for both boxers. You spend 4-year pathway program to get to these games, and it turns into a disaster. Okay, this is what we see. From my perspective, having worked in UK with UK Sport, with working with Scotland, GB Boxing, being on the board with the directors, you know, it's clear we just do boxing. To the President's point, there is no conspiracy theory. We don't have a conspiracy theory. That's not what it's about. We have had 2 letters today from the NOCs, okay? Let's look at the similar link here between the NOCs and the IOC, all right? This morning to say we cannot announce the results. Honestly, this is, I don't tell lies. There's no requirement for me to tell lies. I'm giving you the facts. That's as it is. Okay.
Right. Sorry, I've got a question here with the microphone, mate. Can you just hang on a second? Right, Chris, you said, here I am, New York Times. Chris, you said safety was paramount. And Gabriele, you said in your sport, an unfair advantage, people can die. Now, if you had this test in 2022, you wait 8 months until they're in your competition. These women have been boxing for 6 years. I don't understand. If people can die, that you're waiting for them to arrive in New Delhi, and in the middle of that, you announce this. And a question for Mr. Kremlev, if he's listening. He's the head of a governing body. He described the IOC president, Thomas Bach, as a chief sodomite. Is that the type of language that the head of a sports organization, international sports organization, that has turned over a new leaf should be using? Thank you.
So first of all, I totally agree with you. Yes? Yes, I want. If they let me, I will. So, regarding the 2022, first of all, I've been coach as chairman from the September 2023. I knew about the issue, of course, but also Chris already said that never happened anything similar before in the whole sport, so it was completely something new, and one test, as they said, was not enough to take any drastic decision, because this impacts the life of people. This is also what safety of the boxer goes all around. Then they needed, and Chris already explained it, to have the boxer physically in our hands, which was in 2023 during the World Championships in India, where they performed another test. So this is why, and when they had the second test, before even started the competition, they got disqualified. As I said before, then they never been cleared. And this is, you know, for any sport, they should be cleared before participate in any competition. Because after that moment, they were not complying with our rules. Simple as that. So that's why I said, let's not shift the conversation in other points like budget, or because today we are talking about 2 athletes, and this is the future of 2 people that they work so much. I hope that I...
Why don't you chase them up? It's 8 months. You said people can die. Did you try and contact this Algerian athlete or the Taiwanese athlete across these 8 months to try and get to... This is really confusing.
As I said, I'm answering to you because, of course, you were pointing at me, but I repeat, my chairmanship started September 2023. The second test happened in March 2023. The athletes were already disqualified. So, in my opinion, I had nothing to care, because IBA took care of the safety of the boxer, suspending and disqualifying the boxers. So please understand this.
Excusez-moi.
Look. What's good about our officials is that the safety of the boxer is paramount. So that is the first. And so therefore, we have got trust in our officials, in our referees. So if a bout is outmatched, it doesn't matter. The skill, because you may see in the earlier rounds. You may see in the earlier rounds of any competition, and particularly this one with the seeding, that some of the boxers are far outclassed. Okay? To the point, the referee will always manage the bout, and the safety of the boxer is paramount. Yes, sir.
I think there was a question to the president as well.
Okay,
I think he wants to answer.
Sorry.
On peut poser la question? On peut?
Can we ask a question?
On va arrêter?
Are we stopping the Q&A session? No, he's going to answer to the question, and then you can ask your question.
No, there's a question to the president. It's a question to Umar Kremlev. You described Thomas Bach as the chief sodomite. I just wanted to know whether you regret using that language or if that's appropriate language for someone who is responsible for an international sport.
Да, я скажу, содомит, я имел в виду
When I say said
непосредственно
sodomite, I meant Thomas Bach and those
Я как христианин,
who
мои личные
insisted on that, who
чувства,
did these declarations, who made this declaration.
выставляют насмешкой, издеваясь
I think that they've been making fun of Christianity, of the Bible.
Два города,
In
Содом и Гоморра.
the scriptures, Sodom and Gomorrah existed, these two cities.
Господь
The God
уничтожил эти два города за то, что они
had
не
destroyed
имели
these two
человеческих
cities
ценностей.
because they didn't have any human value in them.
И как президент международной
As a
ассоциации,
president of International Association,
и как верующий
and as
человек,
the firm believer in God,
и который отстаивает демократию и человеческие ценности,
protecting human values and democracy,
я не мог промолчать.
as a person defending human values and democracy, I couldn't keep silent.
И люди, которые создали это открытие и согласовал, это непосредственно Томас Бах и его команда представили.
And this opening was arranged and
об этом говорили.
designed by Thomas Bach and
Он сделал это специально,
his friends. And he did it on purpose
чтобы получить пиар.
in order to improve his public relations status.
Я как христианин и
As a-
верующий человек не
as a
могу
Christian,
позволить, чтобы смеялись на
believing in
библейском
God,
писании. То, что нам дал Господь.
I
Писание наше.
I disagree with this presentation of the scripture. It should be respected because it was given us by God, and I was not alone.
И я не хотел бы видеть это в спорте.
And I would never like to see that happening again in the sports.
И когда мы делаем чемпионаты,
When we set up
чемпионаты мира,
for
программа всегда
championships,
утверждается
the
у
program
Международной ассоциации.
is always confirmed and approved by the president of the association.
Is there a question? Yes.
И также я
And also,
слово содомит сравнил
the word sodomite
непосредственно Томаса Баха,
So
Содома и Гоморра.
I have a question.
was used speaking about
You said that these
Sodom and
women were
Gomorrah.
tested a couple different times. Are you saying
Sorry,
that
I've just got one question here. He came in just before. Sorry, apologies. Yeah.
I was told to
S'il vous plaît,
ask a
chacun
question.
son tour.
Were these
Hang on.
Chacun son tour. Chacun son tour.
Please ask your question.
It's a very good question, and I think based on the current rules that the IOC apply, clearly they can. If it was our event, they wouldn't be. We've got referees and the judges that will manage the bouts. Okay, so the safety of the boxer will be managed. But in terms of what we found, it's challenging. So if it was our event, clearly it wouldn't. But you know, from an IOC's perspective, that's where they are.
So did you only test these two women the first time at the 22 championships? You said there were some women tested. Were all the women in the competition tested, or were only certain ones tested because you picked certain ones out? That's unclear.
I will answer to you. My doctors, the ringside in this competition in Turkey, they take about four blood tests for karyotype.
So you took 4 women?
4, yes, 4 women. The 2 was with abnormal karyotype. The other 2 was normal, XX.
And then what about 23?
And yes, so from 4, the 2 was abnormal, and we make the second examination after in India. You know, it's the medical privacy, and we need to go not slowly, correct. You understand what I mean? Yes. So many countries concern medical is okay, possible to participate in boxing. The problem was the gender, the sex, woman or man. So we take 4 exams, blood exams for the gender. The 2 was these 2 boxers. The other 2 was okay.
And then in 23, you only took 2 then? You only took these 2 women's tests? And secondly, why were they only disqualified and not suspended? Usually in this case, there's either suspension or referral to something else. Why were they disqualified and then allowed to compete?
Because the technical rules in the Constitution means if no karyotype as woman or as man must be disqualified.
No, they were disqualified from the event.
Excusez-moi.
Okay, after that, no, there was this process with CAS, and it's only come to light of recent that they were disqualified. So they still had a ranking on the IBA website. It's only post the CAS piece that they were then subsequently disqualified and removed from IBA tournaments.
Can I just say,
Bonjour,
please, we have 2 microphones going around. Madame, just une seconde. There are 2 microphones going round. Can we just please ask one question? There's a lot of questions. We're doing our best to get our microphones to everyone. Just Madame first, and then the gentleman, please.
Ok, bonjour tout le monde. Ma première question c'est.
Hello everyone. My first question is why this timing, you know? Why one press conference the day before of the Imam Khalifa competition? Why organizing this the day before the round of the 16? Why not earlier? Why didn't you organize this before? Why especially the day before? I think it's just to disturb her, you know. And second, I see the Olympic boxing is under the responsibility of the ITO. Okay. And this is the situation. So why are you so obsessed on Iman? I don't understand why you're so obsessed with her. You should be proud of this athlete. And second, I've never seen a money granted to the loser. That's the first thing. The first time I see that. And for the OBGYN doctor, one question. We know that the progesterone rates are not so stable for women. We know that they may change at all times. So they go up, they go down. So I don't understand. So could you ask your question, please? So what's your question? That's my question. I want an answer. It's an answer to my question.
It's a simple answer to this question because of everybody sat here. You wanted answers. We didn't bring this situation to this tournament. This was brought about by what happened in the ring with the Italian and Imam Khalif. I've been discussing. Stop. I've been discussing business with her for a while now, with Imam Khalif. Okay. And she will move forward into this tournament, as we just discussed here. The reason why we couldn't turn a press conference around in one day, after the event, takes a bit of time to get a venue. All right, timing. It's not specific before her event. We are not having this here to disrupt her.
But Chris, you
or
said
this boxer.
Chris,
and
no,
the only reason why we're having a press conference is because the media want to. Asking questions.
Chris,
okay.
You said originally that this was all brought out by the Carini loss, but you guys have been talking about this since before the opening ceremonies. So how do you explain that timing? Like all of a sudden, that's why you're here because Carini lost? But Umar said about the XY chromosomes last year to the Russian news agency. So can you just explain that timeline because it doesn't make sense?
Уважаемые коллеги, можно я сейчас прокомментирую то, что вы задаете вопрос. Почему мы сегодня собрали пресс-конференцию? Потому что...
We have set up today's conference because in 2018 the International Olympic Committee was wrong as far as the judgments during the Olympics were concerned. And today, in 2024, during these Olympics, there is some violations of the right of the boxers that are taking place. IBA, this is the house for boxers, boxers' house. So we protect each boxer without any difference where they perform, and we also defend each trainer. These are our athletes, our boxers. International Olympic Committee, they don't develop the sports. They don't take care of development of the sports. We have been developing boxing everywhere in the world, and once in 4 years we give them the possibility to perform and to be selected for championships.
Can I just jump in one more time because this is important? People want
And when there are violations taking place, then we intervene because we have pledged to protect boxers. We have tests, results of the test, genetic testing shows that these are men.
All right, Umar, if Umar can't answer this, this is for Chris. Very simple question.
We didn't verify what they have between their legs. For this purpose, there are doctors and medics. We don't know whether they were born like that or they changed something or whatever. There are doctors who can check it, who can verify all these things. We were sent the tests, and the second testing confirmed the first, and we stopped the competition, their participation, sorry. And if people have some doubts whether they were born like that or they changed something later in their life, you can ask them, you can refer to them, and if the athletes agree, they will explain, they will show that this is their private rights. We don't pretend to make the verification or medical checks. But we had serious doubts when we had these results. The testing shows that testosterone level in these two are very high level of testosterone. We don't have to allow them to the tournament because it will be an unequal situation for others. And we did it. And we sent to International Olympic Committee all the necessary details. We informed them. But they could have possibly make their own testing, but they didn't do that. And they started to accuse us that we violated the rules. As an international association that was created for development of boxing, we declared very openly that we have two tests, two sets of tests confirmed. If somebody has doubts on that, you can refer to the athletes, ask them for another test if they agree to that. These tests are their private property. We cannot influence them.
Umar, I want to ask you an important question, and if he can't answer this, this is for Chris. Because of this press conference, these two fighters are going to be receiving even more online abuse and bullying. They've already gotten a lot of that. What's your message to them as they suffer through this? What's your message to the fighters as they kind of cope with this online abuse that's been created by this ruckus?
Вопрос можно повторить? Я не услышал вопрос.
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear the question actually.
Вопрос можно повторить, пожалуйста, вопрос? Я не услышал.
But
Sorry, Umar, sir, let me try to be clear, sorry. What's your message to the two fighters, one from Algeria and one from Chinese Taipei, who have received loads of online abuse and bullying because of your presence here and because of how this all started before the Karini fight and after the Karini fight? Just what's your message to them? What's your response to them?
Ну, я хочу сказать, мы
I must say,
никакой претензии не имеем ни Алжиру,
we don't
ни
have
Тайваню.
any claims to Algeria or Taiwan. Taiwan and Algeria are great countries with great people living in there. Of course.
Спортсмены из этих стран тоже
Athletes from these countries, these two countries,
замечательные люди. Я их лично не знаю.
excellent must be excellent people. I don't know them personally.
Но есть правила международной
But there are
ассоциации бокса.
rules in our association,
Если
in IBA.
Если в спорте есть женщины спортсменки, есть мужчины спортсменки.
So we have female sports and male sports.
И мы должны защищать одинаково,
And we
гендерное
have
равенство.
protect them on equal basis, equally. They all have equal rights to be protected and defended.
И сегодня пришли анализы,
Today
которые они сами разрешили сделать.
we got the tests results that they allowed us to make themselves. They allowed us. And these testings show that they have a high level of testosterone.
Как у мужчины.
Like at men. They have men's level of testosterone.
И дальше мы не имеем права, это личная частная собственность. Что? Меняли они до
We
или
cannot
рождались
go further our investigation, whether they were born like men or maybe some changes intervened at a later stage. We don't have anything to confirm that or to...
защищать спортсменов. И четко в правилах написано. Вот мы действуем в рамках наших правил.
The only thing we do is protecting the athletes. It's written in our rules. If they need some psychological support, we're ready to provide them with this support, of course.
Мы не здесь не для того, чтобы
These
кого-то
athletes that have been suffering from this situation. We're not here to say them that they are bad and others are good. No, not at all. We want people to respect the rules, to abide by the rules, that's all. We don't want the rules to be violated.
Bonjour tout le monde. Lors de la demi-finale en Turquie, Iman a subi un test.
In the semi-final, Turkey, Iman underwent a testing when about to combat the Dutch boxer. But she's lost this fight. Why? The test wasn't before the beginning of the competition, and the Dutch boxer confirmed that she was a woman that she already had fought against her in the past. That was another test, but the results were communicated to Iman Khelif on the eve of the final competition, on the final fight. So why letting her taking part to the qualifications in Senegal in September 2023? And why didn't you say that it was a scandal? It was a scandal after she's fought for fights, why letting her boxing in the World Cup in Colorado in the United States, and also 2 months ago, another competition 2 months ago, why has this scandal come up only last week?
Okay, thank you for your question. This
Я
actually
скажу,
Sorry, Omar.
я скажу о том, это не именно сейчас, это потому что про это знали женщины-спортсменки.
We haven't learned it right
И
now.
на отборочные турниры
The female boxers knew already about that.
Это делал Международный олимпийский комитет.
And for qualifiers, we informed the International Olympic Committee, but they ignored, they dismissed our information,
А мы их информировали еще в 2021 году.
we explained them
В 22-м, то есть в 22-м году
that
мы их
in 2022 it happened. We informed them, we sent them this information in 2022 after the World Championship in Istanbul.
принципиально проигнорировали нашу информацию.
In principle, they ignored our information,
И эта провокация
and they didn't make their own checks.
Томасом Бахом и его
And
командой.
this was a kind of provocation done to us by Thomas Bach and his team.
Can we have a question in the back, please? Yeah, and you're next. Just in the back, please, and then one here.
Ok, d'abord, je vais
First, I will repeat again, waiting for the same semi-final is not really innocent, especially as there were time before the fight. Before Angela's fight,
tout le temps, sans oublier que vous aviez 2 ans pour parler de ce sujet.
Mention
En
this
plus, là,
subject, to
vous avez
discuss this
parlé des
subject.
analyses. Là, vous êtes
Also, when
entré dans un autre
you
sujet, comme si c'était un trans.
referring to
Monsieur, je vous assure que
the
nous, les
analysis
Algériens,
and
nous la
your
connaissons très bien. Et si un trans ne pourra pas
entering
avoir ses
another
règles pour être
transgender
scientifique.
topic, and
Autre
we
chose,
know her
là,
very
vous avez
well, and
consacré
a transgender person
l'enveloppe
would
d'argent
have her
pour
period.
Angela.
And
Et
now
en
you're
disant aussi,
about to send
pour
money
un
to
confort
Angela,
psychologique
and
pour
maybe
la
for
boxeuse. Est-ce
psychological
que ça ne serait
comfort
pas
and so on,
très juste d'avoir
it's
une
not
enveloppe
really
aussi
fair
pour
to
le dédommagement
give
mental que
such
vous
a
avez
big
accusé à Iman
amount of
Khalif.
money.
Vous avez fait pleurer
What
tous les
about
Algériens sans
Iman
oublier
Khalif's
elle-même ici.
psychological impact, because she cried, her parents cried, and
Vous
all the
parlez de la
Algerians
religion, vous
cried.
êtes catholique, c'est
And also
bien,
because
nous
you're
sommes
referring
musulmans.
to
Je pense
religion,
ni
you're
dans la Bible,
Catholic
ni dans
very
le
well,
Coran, il y a
and we are Muslims, and I think that not in the Bible, nor in Quran, there's this kind of stories. And even science in Catholicism, in the Bible, and also in Quran. In these books, science is so advanced that this case couldn't be real. With all my respect, and if boxing is so violent, why not fully stop it to protect women? Why putting women in danger? That's my question.
Я здесь прокомментирую эту ситуацию сейчас сам.
I would like to
Я еще раз хочу
make a comment on
ни в коем
this
случае мы не
this
говорим
case.
против страны Алжира, против спортсменок
We
Алжира.
don't have anything against Algeria or Algerian athletes. I love personally Algeria, great people and great country.
Здесь ни в коем случае не идет против спортсменов. Мы наоборот
There is
защищаем
in no way
права
we're
международной
trying
ассоциации.
to
Мы говорим о правилах. И мы, еще раз говорю, мы сообщили
criticize Algeria or to
Vous l'avez très offensé, hein?
But she was very
проигнорировали.
we informed the International Olympic Committee,
ее не
but
оскорблял. Я
but the
оскорблял
committee dismissed it.
непосредственно
Me personally, I didn't insult Algerian woman, Algerian boxer. I was very angry against Thomas Bach because he insulted all the Christians and all the Muslims.
Да, анализы не
Yes, the tests
генетически показывают, что у ней
don't comply with the rules, because the test shows that have men's level testosterone. Whether she was born man or woman, we didn't say that. We can't know that. I was not present when she was born in Algerian maternity. There is no proofs, of course, that this woman is a transgender or artificially made woman. We didn't speak about that. It may be a transgender woman, maybe not. But this, the athletes themselves, they have to take their responsibility and take the blood tests or whatever. Even here, in any clinic, in any hospital, they can do that here, and this question will be closed, and then we will be able to understand whether there were some transgender operation, or woman, or she was born as a woman, or she was born as a man and then she became a woman. We have the results of genetic tests, which shows high level of testosterone, men's level of testosterone. The chromosomes can prove that this is a woman or this is a man. If they had agreed, we could have done more testing in order to make more proofs, more convincing proofs. From the conference, you can see that their advocates, their defenders, that they send that we can publicize. We cannot publicize because this is the protection, personal protection of athletes. We gathered here together for the purposes of justice, in order for you to hear from us, to understand us, to listen to us, so that there should not be any hate campaign against one another.
People do care about this issue, so I would like to ask in Chinese first. 这其实是一个逻辑性的问题。如果两位选手在2022就被检测有问题，你们为什么没有通知他们，却要求他们在2023世锦赛之前提出证明？而他们就是女孩子，也不知道被检测是有问题的。2023年是要怎么去提证明，然后被检测说有问题，也没有说理由。Okay, I'm gonna ask in English. If two boxers were tested incorrectly in 2022, and you didn't notify them and ask them to provide proof before the 2023 World Championship, but they are girls. They don't know why I have to prove myself, and how do they know they were tested incorrectly? How will they provide proof in 2023? Then after being tested and told that there was a problem, no reason was given. Thank you.
Я уважаю Китай.
I respect China.
Китай это любимая моя страна.
It's actually my favorite country.
Тайвань это в
Taiwan,
составе Китая.
it's a part of China.
И я езжу туда часто.
I go there very often.
Ни в коем случае не против
Again,
народа Китая.
there is nothing against Chinese people here.
Любимая моя, одна из любимых моих стран.
China is one of my favorite countries. We speak about the athletes here. We have sent the documents. We have sent the test results. If athletes want to prove that they were born women, they have to do it themselves. But they didn't do that. We don't have any paper, neither from maternity houses, nor as far as the deep checks of their body is concerned. If I was accused of not being a man or whatever, of course, in this case, I would bring over all the documents. I would go through all checks in order to prove that I am a real man, I'm not a woman. And I'm sitting here in front of you and I'm asking all of your questions. And I'm not scared of anything. We're very open. We're very open for the public discussion. And we don't do like Thomas Bach does with his team. They're trying to hide, avoid discussions.
I'm being told that unfortunately that's all the time we have. So I'd like to thank our speakers. You're invited to ask them afterwards if you wish, and to contact the IBA's press office directly for any more information or documents. But a big thank you to everyone who came here to the press.